for this to happen, because it starts from somewhere. And I know Matthew was starting in a new market and in the process, and then we kind of took it on, but thanks for coming here and the information. The reason I do that is because it starts from somewhere. You have to know that this was an original idea from Lawrence, and we have a new market, now we're in Scarborough, and the big news I have is I just put a proposal in to start a group in Mississauga yesterday, so that was a surprise for us. So Lawrence today. So I'll find out in a few days how that happens. So it's expanded. So I'm going to start here. What we're going to do today is this, is because of timing and people will have to leave. What I decided to do is leave just a little bit of a snippet of the PAR system program. And Patrick Bizindavyi is going to come up and he's going to share his story. And his story really epitomizes what the PAR system is all about. So we're going to go this fairly quickly, and I'll address some of the issues that Matt was talking about. So the pilot class, how to become a networking success. Quick about my story is I went out networking in 2003. I met some great mentors. They gave me the opportunity not just to have an ordinary life, but an extraordinary life. And this is where I learned how to network badly in the beginning and then getting better as time went on. And because of this, I decided that I need to put together a system because I was doing it really unconsciously well. But many other of my friends were having challenges, and I figured that a system was needed. So that's a quick about my experience. So the PAR system is three things: a business card, attitude, key questions. We're going to roll through this fairly quickly, but I want to touch upon each of them. So everybody has a business card. And today, we were talking about speed networking. And many people asked for a business card when they had one. Many of them who found a business card they had in their purse. The business card is your billboard. And I'm going to talk about how important that is. Next thing is attitude. You walk into a room or you meet someone, how important attitude is. Third one's key question is how to respond. You do these things over and over again, you and your become a professional networker. And I have videos on my website where you can see more detailed presentation about this. Well, as I said, we're going to start quickly. So the first thing is, it's your billboard. We drove here from Toronto today, picking up Patrick on my way. We saw these billboards, real estate agents have these huge billboards that they spend thousands of dollars on to create interest. That's totally great. I'm totally with that. But what I believe is that a business card is even more impactful than a billboard. It's not what type of business you have. We have coaches here, we have accountants in this room. Very impactful. You can create 1,000 business cards and make these work for you and create strong referrals in a very short period of time. So that's why I'm a big fan of a very well put together business card. Another thing is having them available where people don't have a card. Well, mine doesn't. The back of mine is not blank, but ones I have previously can do that where you can make notes, but you can always have a piece of paper with you. Because something Matthew talked about, we're going to talk about two slides is about conversations. It's a great point you just made. And we're actually talking about that where we're speaking today. I don't know about Matthew today, I didn't know, because I was asking questions. Next thing is 30-second elevator pitch. And what we did earlier today was fantastic. Got all the chairs set up, we got talking 30 in a minute session, 30 seconds to a minute each. Talking about what our person across from me did. And that's a part of networking that we have to get better at. Is we all might have great products, and I appreciate what Camille was sharing today of our products, and it's a fantastic industry. I was in the industry for 8 years, and I realized how impactful industry made to me. But I realized even now, seeing the passion in what this can do for people, it's great. And again, it's your choice what businesses interest you. So do your research, and if you like it, go try it out. That's what business is all about, finding out what you want to do. Perhaps the 30-second elevator pitch is, I have a business card, it's my book. My book is my business. And I'll leave it at that. And I'll leave it at that. And if you want to ask any more questions, then go on my website and find out. Because I need to push on everybody because they're not interested in my book. That's okay. But there might be videos on there with some articles you want to read. And I kept it short and simple. And it's worked well for me because that's all I need to do. That's what I feel comfortable in doing. But the next thing is attitude. We talk about, Stephen kind of says about beginning the end in mind. And we come to an event like this where you don't know anybody. I only know 2 people here. And I've met some great individuals. I've gotten their business cards. I learned about what they do. Some are very passionate and knew about their business. Others have just spent time in other businesses and just rebranded themselves doing something new. That's exciting. They decided to change the chapter in their life and do something better. and I really appreciate that. Attitude is, one of the best things about attitude is this. I was at a gym, working out. I was sitting down, working out, and there was a guy lifting, I was lifting my weights. And beside me was a guy on the bench pressing 250 pounds. So I get up and I go, "Hi, my name is Jim." And I shake his hand, and he gives me a fish handshake. I sit back down again, and I go, I can't let this happen. And I preach this stuff. And I don't have anything against fish handshakes, ladies and gentlemen, but he's a guy. How could you give me a fish handshake? So I get back up again, and I say to him, I said, "Could you shake my hand but really mean it?" Boom! I'm like, now back your hands. I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the house, right? I may have lost a friend that day, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't think I ever heard from him again. But the point was, I want to make sure that we were on the same page as far as handshakes. Now, as I said earlier, I don't have anything against fish handshake, but I believe that we have to be fair. Now, the lesson here is it's about mirror matching. So I could easily just match this fish handshake. But we're in a gym, we're working out. It just shouldn't be that way, right? So my lesson here is we don't meet people all the time. So if I meet people at a networking event and I shake their hand, I'm going to match their handshake. So if you gives me a fish handshake, I'm going to mimic that. It's called mirror matching. So that's the lesson I want to leave you with that, as far as attitude. And speaking to people, if you're passionate, you just tone it down a bit and just match their intensity as well. There's nothing wrong with that. So everybody's talking about the law of attraction and how powerful that is. And Patrick's going to be sharing a story in just for a few minutes of how he attracted his career to him. The last thing is key questions. And it's something I'm not talking about. When you go out networking, you're going to meet people who are doing different things, different types of businesses. And when I was out there in my heyday doing that, I was very passionate. And I was like, this can change your life. And I realized, yes, it could, but I realized I had to connect with the individual. And if I can connect with them, then I'm not going to force it upon them. So I really have to change my style. And it was all about how I was interacting with everybody. And some of that training that I got the past year was probably the best training I got in nine years because how I interacted with everybody. And this is what I brought when I wrote my book. So again, it's about engagement. So all I have to address is this, is you can be passionate about your business, ladies and gentlemen, but it's how you talk about it. Just like Deanne talks about business, she's very calm talking about her business. She doesn't push on everybody. If they're interested, they'll come and ask her. That works out best for her. And that's the way it should be done. If someone's interested about your real estate business and that you have enough value, they'll come to you. You can attract them, send them an email if you want, nice meeting you, connect on LinkedIn, and build that relationship. And the real estate agent in this room said to me, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. That's perfect. He didn't force it upon me. He says, I'm here for you, and I appreciate that. That was one of the best lines I've heard so far today. Just give me a call. Okay? So that's what I want to touch upon. I'm going to skip the rest of this because I want to go to Patrick Bizindavyi. And Patrick has been in Canada for 10 years, and I actually just nominated Patrick for an award a couple weeks ago, which he didn't make the top 75. But the reason I nominated him was because of his success story. And it's been great to meet him last year, February, through Phil Taylor around the United States. And he really epitomizes the performance training system. So I want to bring Patrick up here and share this story, because it's an impactful one of how he came to Canada from Burundi and really bumped into somebody on the street, and he'll share the story from there. So I can just do Patrick Bizindavyi. Thank you. Thank you.
Man, you can do better than that.
When they hear your story, they will.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's the innovations. Thank you very much, Jim. And as Jim mentioned, we've been friends since last year. It's part of our group called Goal Achievers. We do mastermind teams across the city. But I've been with Jim so many times whenever he goes out and speaks about networking and sharing my stories. I have tons of them. But today I'm going to share a little bit about my first few months in Canada. As you mentioned, I came to Canada in 2002, and back home in Burundi. It's a very small country in Central Africa. It's so small.
Just in Africa, just in Ghana.
Sorry?
Just in Ghana, actually.
Oh, very good. Ghana is so big. Burundi is just this. You know, you fly over it, you sneeze, you miss it. That's how small it is. So back home, I was doing different things. I was an English teacher. It's a French-speaking country. We speak French. So I was an English teacher. I was coaching basketball, and my passion was radio. I like radio. So I worked in a radio station back home. So when I came to Canada in August 2002, I had a few friends here. So I told them, if I don't work in a radio station in Canada, I will never work. That's how bold I was about that passion. I will never work in Canada if I don't work in a radio station. That was maybe naive, because whenever you apply for a job, you know, as an immigrant, what's the first question they ask you? Canadian experience. Please, catch-22, because give me a chance to get that experience. And
welcome to Canada.
Yes. So that was my first, you know, challenges. Do you have a degree in communication? I didn't. I didn't. So have you worked in a radio station or TV station in Canada? No. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. So I went out. Jim mentioned about networking. I went out meeting people, emailing people about my passion. And one day on Young Street, Young and Dunn, I met a guy from Burundi, where I'm from. I knew him, but he didn't know me, because he was a TV host. So when somebody's on TV, people know him. So I stopped him. Say, hey, I know you. You don't know me, but I know you. That's not a good thing for networking, but hey, I didn't know about, you know. So long story short, we became friends. So I asked him, so do you know any radio station, you know, in the city? It could be French or English, it doesn't matter. And say, yeah, there's a small community, you know, radio station, they speak French. Maybe, you know, you should connect with them. So pick up the phone on a Monday, I called the radio station and I spoke to a lady. And I said to her, my name is Patrick, I'm a journalist, I'm from Burundi, I would like to come and see what you do. So they were at Young and College, so I went there on a Tuesday, found a gentleman there, and there was a studio, and I was not that impressed, it was the same radio station we had back home. So we had a little chat, and I asked him, so what do you do? What kind of shows do you have? So he gave me a piece of paper with different shows. And there was sport news. And back home I was doing sport. I said, hey, I used to do sport. Can I come and help? He said, yeah, sure. This is the name of the guy who does the show. This is his phone number. Please call him. So I made sure, got the phone when I got home, called the guy, say, hey, my name is Patrick. I'm a journalist from Burundi. Hey, I did sport news, and I saw you do sport news as well. And the guy on the other line said, oh my God, I'm from Burundi too. Please, your brother, come on Saturday, let's do a show together. Right. So I showed up on Saturday, 9 o'clock, the show was at 11. I showed up at 9, I went on the computer, I spoke to the guy I met a week before, and around 10:30, the guy told me, I have bad news for you. The guy who does the show will not show up today. Family emergency. Do you think you can do the show? I was like, now that you insist, yes, I can do that. He gave me 15 minutes, got ready, gave me the microphone, boom, I did the whole show for a whole hour. And I even spoke about hockey. I had no idea what I was speaking about.
Just remember, the Leafs have one for 40 minutes.
I had no idea.
That's where my parents came from Jamaica. Thanks for the reminder.
I speak about hockey. And after the show, the guy looked at me and he goes, have you done radio before? I said, yeah. And I have a question for you too. So, what's the question? Can I come back tomorrow? Sure. So I came back for about 3 months. And guess what? I got a job. I was, yeah. You did a way back. I got my first job in Canada as a radio host and project manager for the radio. It was a 1-year contract. Hey, I got it. And at that time, they were working for 3 months at a time. with no license, and I was the one helping them getting a license. Now they work 24 hours a day. And that was my first job. And that's why, when Jim asked me to come and share my story, in networking, I was doing it without even knowing the strategy. I just meet people, share numbers, follow up, do it again, do it again, do it again, and then boom, it happened. And my life has been like that ever since.
That sounds like Canada.
Yeah, it's a very good strategy. I was doing it without knowing the strategy. Now I know. Because the power system, I don't even have. I go with a business card, whatever I meet, and I make sure I follow up. And ever since I've been doing that, I've been crazy stuff. If you have 5 hours, I can share my stories. Now I have a blog that I share all my stories weekly, and then it's becoming a book very soon. That's why I asked for a standing ovation. The name of the blog is Journeyman Stories. If you can even Google that, Journeyman Stories. And then once you click on that, you see my nice face and picture and my stories. And I've been sharing my journey with Jim, Diane, all those good people. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. That he was doing it consciously, not through the PAR system. So I did a system out of it, but he already was doing it unconsciously, which is amazing. But the bottom line is he didn't have a business card, but he used to present himself. He brought the right attitude in, and he followed up. After he did that first session, he said, can I come back? And the past year or so, I've had a chance to really work well with Patrick. He's challenged me in many ways with our group. And I hope that from the story you shared here, that's why I wanted to share it, and so that it can happen for you. But you go out, shake hands, meet people. Now, his bumping into someone on your street is maybe a long shot, but it happens.
Yeah, and I like what Matthew said, because
yes.
When you go out and meet people, there has to be a purpose. Because I knew sort about radio, and everybody I was meeting, I was not pushing, I was asking, how can you help me? How can I help you? And then once you know sort of about intention, right?
Yeah.
Once you know intention, whoever you meet, you can either help him or he can help you. Or you can help him. That's the mindset of attitude. That was my idea. Who can help me? Because I know by myself, I cannot do that. I was new to the country, no connections. So wherever I went, was like, who can help me? Or how can I help you if you need help? So
that's still a page from Patrick's upcoming book we're working on together. It has a slogan. What's a model? 100% intention, 0% method. So you put 100% intention in something, and his intention was to find work and registration. He didn't know how it was going to happen. And we talk about this all the time, because you put intention to something, you don't know where you're going to get those leads from, those new clients from, but you have that intention, it will happen. And this is where I learned from Patrick last year when we did a presentation in Toronto. I wrote that 100% intention, 0% method. It works. So I thank you for presenting that. We're going to take a 1-minute break, and I'm going to give you a quick presentation on social media. So thanks again.
Thank you very much.
I just want to add.
Go ahead.